All right, welcome, welcome, welcome. Such a pleasure to have us all here this beautiful day. My name is Collins Banner, and I welcome you to the very first series and edition in Activate series. Yeah, Activate series by Zahava Consult. It was put together to help small business owners to take action. So we live in a world and in a time where we have a lot of information going around. Okay, there's a lot of information at the fingertips of people, businesses, individuals, and the likes, But yet we are not still seeing the desired result we want to see or the desired success. So we went back to the drawing board and said, what could be the challenge? What could be the problem? And we discovered that a lot of people know a lot but do so little. All right, and that is why this series was set up, all right, to bridge that gap. Okay, so this evening or today or whenever you're watching this, we are not just going to be talking about things to do, goal setting, the normal things you know about goal setting. We're also going to be talking about the action things to take, actionable steps to take that you're going to make you see results, both short term and long term results. Also, Tony Robbins said something that is very, very important about goals. He said that goals are bringing the invincible to the visible. And I totally agree with Tony Robbins. All right. So, everything happens twice, first in our mind and then before it manifests physically. Yeah. So, setting goals is very important because it also gives us a foresight, of what we are to expect, what we are to pursue, and so on. All right. I want to welcome you each again. Our speaker is already on standby and waiting. It promises to be an exciting evening. All right. Please share this live. Share this live if you're here to do so. Put it on your WhatsApp status, put it on Facebook, put it on everywhere. Let's get everybody in because it promises to be amazing this evening. All right. Okay. So right about now, I'm going to bring up our speaker as I also read his profile. Okay. So just a minute. Or do I give you a minute to share the link? For those of us who are yet to do so, please do so. Do so. But let me just go ahead to bring up our speaker right away. I'm so excited. You know, there's nothing as liberating, as getting the right knowledge. All right, having the right knowledge, knowing what to do is so exciting. It empowers you. You're not perturbed, by the flexibility of what is going on in the surroundings around you. Why? Because you're armed with the right knowledge to take the right action. All right, it's not just about having knowledge. All right, some people are in a hurry going nowhere. All right, direction is more important than speed. Okay, I'll repeat that again. Direction is more important than speed. All right, so we must be going. If you want to move very fast in 2025, or you want to go in the right direction or with the right speed, you must also be heading to the right place. Also, okay. Our speaker is about to come up stage right about now. Okay, welcome, 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 welcome. Such a pleasure to have you here this evening. Okay, so let me introduce our speaker very quickly. His name is God's Will Kanu. He's a serial entrepreneur, banker, life coach, and teacher. God's Will Kanu is a dynamic leader and seasoned professional passionate about empowering individuals and businesses to achieve their highest potential. With over a decade plus experience as a serial entrepreneur, banker, and life coach, he brings a wealth of experience and a unique perspective to personal and professional development. With a degree in electrical computer engineering and an MBA, God's will combine analytical precision with strategic leadership. He's the founder of Salt and Light NG, a transformative platform dedicated to helping people discover their rhythm in life, align with their purpose, and achieve lasting fulfillment. God's will is deeply committed to helping business owners succeed by providing practical strategies, insight, and tools to navigate challenges and maximize opportunities. His certifications in project management and business analysis, coupled with his membership in the International Institute of Business Analysis, Toronto, Canada, underscore his expertise in creating systems that drive efficacy and growth. As a professional certified life coach, Godswill leverages his knowledge of the conscious competence model to guide clients through intentional learning and skill mastery. His passion for leadership and personal development is evident in his mentorship effort, his ability to inspire teams, and his deep involvement in community growth initiatives. A teacher of the Word of God, also, God's will integrates biblical principles into his coaching to provide holistic, value driven solutions for personal and professional success. Whether leading webinars or mentoring entrepreneurs, God's will deliver actionable insights and strategies with clarity, authenticity, and a genuine desire to see others thrive. Ready to elevate your goals and transform your business? God's Will Kano offers the exercise, inspiration, and tools you need to succeed. Ladies and gentlemen, dear family, please help me. Let's make welcome our speaker for tonight, the person of God's Will Kano. It's such a pleasure to have you here this evening, sir. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Collins. I'm really happy to be here. Good evening, everybody, from wherever you're watching me or you're watching us, from wherever you are. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. It's such a pleasure to be here, and I don't take this for granted. I want you to just chat in the type in the chat box wherever you're watching. Just tell us your location where you're watching, your name and your location where you're watching. Yes, I am presently in Kaduna, Nigeria. Yeah, it's such a pleasure to be here. So I'll just give us the next 1 minute to just do that. Just tell us where you're watching from, where you're listening from, um, whether it's in Nigeria or it's outside Nigeria, so that we just know. Oh, that's lovely, Enugu, lovely,
Yeah.
lovely, 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 awesome, awesome, awesome. Let's do a little bit of housekeeping. So if you just in case you've not shared the link, I don't know if the link is available. Mr. Collins, Victor Bauer from Funtua, Castina State.
Yeah.
Awesome to have you. Oh, that's awesome. Awesome. Ken from Port Harcourt. Blessing from Benue. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's amazing. All right. We're 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 ready for to improve and upskill our knowledge and to get ready for 2025. Yes, 2024, it's almost winding down. We have just a few days to the end of the year, and it's a good thing for us to get Miracle from Abuja. Lovely, awesome, awesome. It's a good thing for us to put ourselves together and you know get ready for that year 2025. You know, against the run of play, we we get to also see that we also get to see that everybody around is talking about T-Pain. They are talking, everybody's talking about one sort of frustration or the other. But then I tell you that history always has it that it is in the most trying times that people succeed the most. And I think I need to say make it clear. We get people succeeding more in the most trying times. And it's just a matter of choice, you know. And today we are going to be looking at something that I feel is very, very important to move their business from where they are to the place where they want to see their business and to the place where God has purposed their businesses to be. All right, so we'll just go very quickly into the slide. I don't know if we could just have the slide so that we just hit the ground running as quickly as possible. All right, thank you for that. So today's topic is goal setting for business owners. Now, how to prepare and position your business for success in 2025. Very amazing topic. How to prepare and position your business for success in 2025. And we know that Antoninus de Saint Exupéry said that a goal without a plan is just a mere wish. A goal without a plan is just a mere wish. Tony Robbins also went ahead to say setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. I think Collins mentions that. And of course, what you get by achieving your goals is not as important as what you become by achieving your goals. So what you become by achieving your goals, of course, you would have learned mastery, you would have gained experience, you'd have gained exposure, you'd have understood what it takes to, especially when those goals have to do with maybe failing and learning from those experiences, and we know that discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishments. Jim Rohn made us understand that discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. And nobody here is too old or too young to dream, to set goals. Every one of us can set goals. My name is Godswill Kano, as I've been rightly introduced, and I'll be taking you on a journey um, through goal setting. Now, because this class, we don't want it to be just a talk class. We want it to be a class where we can document. We have packaged for us a goal setting template that Mr. Collins will be making available. Maybe you download it through the through the WhatsApp, or there will be a link for that. So there'll be a goal setting template. Collins, I don't know if you can help share the the document so that everybody will just have it, just to get ourselves ready as we um, embark on
Okay.
this journey. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Well,
So our
I
focus.
share it on the group right now. Should I put it on the group
Yes,
right now?
yes, yes. Put it on the group. Put it on the group. So if you've gotten the document, I want you to just download it and just open it and just keep it by the side. We'll be making reference to that template as we go through this. We don't want this to be one of those regular webinars where we just attend and we just listen. We are in the we're in the time of information overload, where there is a lot of information out there, and what differentiates the winners from the losers is the doing. So it is in the doing. A lot of people don't do some of these things. You know all the principles, you know all the rules, but you don't do them. And that's the difference between success and failure. It is those people who do that can be successful. All right, so we don't want to have a webinar that will be overloaded with information. There is nothing about goal setting that you don't know, and it's just about knowing the right things and applying them correctly. And that is what today's meeting is about. All right, so we have 5 parts focus. Our first focus will do an introduction. The second one is the essentials. We'll talk about the essentials of goal setting. Then part 3, we'll talk about the roadmap to achieving goals. We need to understand that there is a clear-cut roadmap to achieving those goals that we've set. And part 4, we'll talk about goal setting tips, while part 5 talks about practical insights, where we'll be making use of our workbook, to practically set goals, and just think about your business. Think about, for those of us who don't have a business, we can replace that with our lives, maybe our careers, our jobs. What goals you want to set in your life? What goals you want to set in your marriage? What goals you want to set in your job, your family? Basically, this is for business owners, of course, but in case you don't have a business or you're planning to start a business, this is for you. And of course, I've just given you the bonus, which is the goal setting um, template. So let's move right into the webinar. All right, so we'll start first by talking about live frogs. Now, if you look at your screen, you can see 2 live frogs. Now, I want to ask you a question. If you are being confronted in the morning with 2 frogs, 2 live frogs, and you are being asked to eat these frogs, how are you going to go about it? Can I get responses in the chat box? Let me see. So you woke up in the morning and they served you 2 live frogs, and they put a gun to your head and they said, you see these 2 frogs, You must eat them today or live or die. If you don't eat them, the bullet will get into your head. What would you do? Let me see. Let me hear from us in the chat box. I don't want to talk alone today. So, like I said, it's going to be very interactive. Yeah. So, what are you going to do? What will you do? Just let me hear from you in the comment section. Let me hear from you. Let me hear from you in the comment section. So you're being confronted with two live frogs. What exactly are you going to do? All right. Let me hear from you. Okay. My question is that if in the morning you were being presented with two live frogs on a plate, and they put a gun to your head and they said, you must eat these frogs or die. What are you going to do about it? Just go ahead and just tell me. Just let's go. Let's talk. Now, real life situation. You saw two frogs in a plate, and a man is standing, and the gun is standing behind him, and is saying, "You have to eat them." What are you going to? Okay, she said, Gloria said, Victoria said, I'll have to eat the frogs. All right, that's fine. Can I get any other opinion? Can we get more opinions? I cannot afford to die. Of course. Even me too, I can't afford to die. All right. Let me hear more. Let's get one or two more reactions just to show that we're all following. Yeah, we go on. I may likely eat them to save my life. Miracle saying, okay, she's not sure. She's saying she might likely eat them to save her life because she doesn't want to die. Okay. Let me get one more response, then we just move. One more response, then we move. One more. Okay, Victor said, since I'm left with no choice but to eat the frogs, I'll just go ahead and eat it. Okay, awesome. So we have people in this house who understand what obstacles are. So let's look at these two frogs as obstacles. Some of us have seen, okay, I will just grab the one frog and start eating. That's Kenneth. All right, Kenneth. Oh, that's awesome. He said I'll just grab the frogs and start eating. All right. Now, thank you very much for your answers. You guys have answered very correctly, of course. Okay, so let's come back home now. These two frogs could represent challenges, obstacles, messy situations. They could represent the difficulty in breaking into a new business. They could represent a business that is not working. They could represent a business that is very high on interest payments. Maybe the loans are not coming, are not the interest on the loans are mounting, and the business is not working. They could also represent a life that is not moving forward. Maybe you've been on the same cadre for a long time, you've not been promoted, or maybe you're having issues with your finances. You discover that it's becoming very difficult for you to save, it's becoming difficult for you, to achieve anything. Maybe it's a car you want to buy and you're finding it difficult to buy. You're finding that mountain so heavy, too high to climb. Maybe it's a house you've always dreamt in your visions. You see yourself owning your own house. We all have these lovely dreams, that just makes butterflies to roll in our stomachs. But then again, you are being confronted with how are you going to go about it? What are you supposed to do? So it was the person who came up with this concept of life frogs was Mark Twain. And that story or the concept brought about two corollaries, and I'm going to talk about them. So Mark Twain was talking about if you're being confronted with two live frogs in the morning, and you are being asked to eat them. He gave us two strategies. He said, number one, start with the ugliest frog. I'm going to come back to that. So he said, start with the ugliest frog and eat it. And he said, secondly, Don't stare at this frog in the plate, the remaining frog in the plate for too long. Just go ahead and eat it. That's almost the same answer a lot of us gave. So number one, so if this frog starts with represents challenges, obstacles, than hurdles that you need to climb, the first thing you need to do is start with the most difficult. So let us talk about the frogs, like our goals now. What is your list out your goals from 1 to 10, and at the flash of your eyes, just scan through that document and see that thing you've written and say, okay, from these 10 things that are my goals, which one is the most difficult? Which is the most difficult to achieve? Mark Twain is saying, eat that frog. Start with that one. Then, since you know you're supposed to eat this frog anyways, of course you must build that house. Of course you must buy that car. You must make that savings. You must do that project you want to do. What's the next thing you do? He says, just go ahead and do it. There's no point sitting down waiting. Our problem most times is that we want to overanalyze the situation. We want to we want to talk about it. Oh, you want to build a house. You've spoken so much about it and you're not taking any action. Our problem most times it's not even the frogs itself. Our problem most times is not even the obstacles or these dirty frogs. It is the attitude we bring to the table when we come to eating these frogs that matters. So some of us come with this attitude of loser mentality. Some of us come with the attitude of the victim mentality. Some of us come with the attitude of, oh, 1st of January now, we'll write a very long list of resolutions and say, I will not do this, I will not do that. But before we finish January, we get to discover that sometimes we are back to those things that we said we're not going to do. And why is that so? And that's because we have not activated the principles of automaticity in our habits. We need to make our habits automatic. So it is because those habits, those things that we have, those things that we say we are going to change from, or the things we say we are going to do, we've not been able to build discipline around it. We've not been able to build awareness. We've not been able to understand what those things mean. And that's why those things don't last. You hear people say, oh, I am going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And they fall back to what they do. So today we're going to start on this note that pick up a pen and paper, write out the frogs you have in your life. Let those frogs represent your goals. Write them down. Just do that in the next 1 minute. Just take a plain piece of paper or something. Just get a notepad by your side. I also have one with me. Write down. If you can have up to 10, that's fine. If you have up to 5, that's fine. If you have up to 3, of course, we have different goals. So write down those things that you want to achieve. Could it be expanding your business? Could it be starting your business? Could it be a project you're about to start? Maybe God has given you an idea. Oh, go and start up this competition or start up this show or start up this podcast, or just tell me what it is. Write it down. Write those frogs out. You may have more than 2 on your tray. At least nobody should have 1 at least. So you write those frogs, I want to tell you that be honest about it. Have an open heart, and come with a paradigm shift in your mentality, in your mind. Come with your a paradigm shift, and that paradigm shift should be a shift from victim to hero. Because first, I'm afraid I cannot help you. I cannot help you if you are still with the victim mentality. Of course, you are the only one that can rescue yourself. So right now, write out the frogs you have in your life, all the messy things. Oh, your relationship is not going fine. It's a frog. Put it down. Your marriage is not going fine. It's a frog. Okay, this is what I want to buy. This is my financial goal for 2025. Oh, I earn 100,000 and I want to make sure that I save 50,000. I want to make sure I save 40,000 monthly. It's a frog. Write them down. Just do that very quickly and just let me know if you've done that. Just you can give me an emoji to just show me that you're following. All right, so just write down the frogs and just hold it by the side. All right, so let's go on. Now we talk about a goal. So what is a goal? What is a goal? So from this definition, we said a goal is a specific, measurable, and a time-bound objective that provides direction, focus, and motivation, helping individuals and organizations achieve desired outcomes. Now look at it. This definition is all encompassing. If you can, if you can, if you can see from this definition, you get to discover that this is talking about the SMART concept that we talk about. So a goal is a specific, measurable, and a time-bound objective. All right. So a specific, measurable, time-bound. So goals must be specific. Like I cannot just say I want to build a house. No, that's too general. That's too general. So it has to be specificity. So the art of specificity tells us how much of time you have put in into coming up with a goal. And we're going to, of course, I'm going to help you understand what goals is, because most times what we've been setting in the time past was where they were not goals, they were just mere wishes. So when a goal is not specific, measurable, time bound, when it doesn't provide direction, when it doesn't provide focus, when it doesn't provide motivation, when it doesn't help you achieve the desired outcome. So you see that a goal is a three-part is a three-part is a three-part process. So a goal is not just a destination, it's a journey. All right. Now, you need to understand the problem we've always had is that we are treating goals like a destination. So you just say, "Oh, I've gotten to the top." That's not what a goal is about. So a goal, first, it has to be specific, it has to be measurable, it has to be time bound. It must provide direction. It must ensure focus. It must be able to trigger motivation, because when you're writing your goals, because so most times I discover that the problem people have with writing goals is that after writing these goals, sometimes they don't talk about what is going to help them focus. Because for preparation, there is a second hand to preparation. It's also called separation. So preparation and separation are two ways. So while we are preparing for the things we need to do, we also need to be separating from the things that will help us not to achieve our goals. Do you understand? So a goal must be specific, it must be measurable, it must be time bound, it must provide direction, it must give focus and motivation. And every goal you have must have what I call enablers, helping you to achieve desired outcomes. And that's what the goal is about. So think about those things you've written down now. Let's go back to the frogs that we've written down. We've written quite a lot of them. So look at them. And let's begin to look at each of those things you've written down one after the other. And if you don't have a writing material, you can actually use your phone, if you can, or, while you're thinking, because there's need for you to write down. We need you to write down. Writing is a cognitive, there's this cognitive behavior that it helps to align your thoughts and your actions. So when you write something down, it helps your mind to see it as real. It helps you to be able to visualize what you've written. You're able to look at it, and it helps also you to be able to remember what you've written. And that's the more reason why you need to write down your frogs or write down your goals. So let's look at those frogs that we've written down. Like I told you, it's a practical class. I'm not here to just read a slide to you. I'm here to guide you, to help you enable learning, right? Okay, so beautiful. So let's look at those frogs you've written down now. Which of them fits into this definition? Specific. So somebody must have written, "Oh, I want to buy a car." So it is, I want to buy a Toyota Corolla 2008 low fuel car. And I want to buy that car between the first 2 quarters of this year, maybe in the second quarter of this year, and the way I'm going to buy the car is from saving, I'm going to join a contribution where I'll be saving 200,000 naira every month for the next 3 months. That's exactly how you make a goal. All right. So a goal must come up with those other things, because what most of us write, especially for our businesses, is just a wish. Oh, I wish that I will open 2 shops. Oh, I wish that I would do 10 million naira in revenue. No, those are wishes. Those are not goals. Those are not goals. So a goal must be specific, measurable, time bound. All right. So look at those things. Which of those things look like a goal? So you begin to look at them again. And if they don't look like a goal now, let's just go on with me. We'll try to see how we can arrange them correctly. So, introduction. So, why is goal setting crucial? Why is goal setting crucial? Why do you think goal setting is crucial? Number one, it provides clarity and direction. Very, very cool. It provides clarity and direction. Now, because it is specific, because it is measurable, because it is time bound, because it is attainable, because it is realistic, it gives us a clear picture. I understand that at the beginning of the goal setting, your goal may not be clear. But of course, that is why it's necessary for you to have a goal and back it up with action, because clarity is revealed in momentum. All right. So we get to discover that the more we've written those things down and we back them with sufficient action, we begin to get clear. We get more clarity. Now, and direction, it tells us where we're going to. So if I'm going to buy a car, I'm not going to go and be pricing a house. So I'm clear and I'm focused. Then, because I have written down this goal in my diary and it is in the first page, or I've done a screenshot and I've used that screenshot, I'm going to be teaching us the power of visualization much more later. Because I'm seeing it in front of me on my phone. And every time I wake up, maybe I put it in front of my wall when I wake up in the morning. And it is the first thing I read every day. We're going to be going into that towards the end of this. It helps me to take action and it keeps me focused. I'm ready to take action. Oh, and I had a bad day yesterday and I've slept, I've woken up, and my dream is to have my ICANN, write my ICANN this year. My dream is to do a certification course. My dream is to do this. My dream is to do that. What happens to me? What do you think I'll do? I begin to focus. I begin to internally self motivate myself. Why? I am looking at that goal on the wall. I'm looking at that thing that was written. And so I know that if I have to read 3 hours every day to prepare for this exam, I will give 3 hours every day. It offers a benchmark to be able to measure success. What some of us call success is actually not success. All right. So you are not successful the day you hit the goal. No. Success is not a destination. Success is a journey. I heard that from TD Jakes. See, success is not a destination. Success is a journey. And so you have to enjoy the journey. The day they presented you with your BSc or your MSc certificate, that was not the day you were successful. No. It started from the first day you made that registration. You are in on the way, and you are making steps towards success. And that's the same thing for your business. A lot of us are too impatient to understand what success means, and we need to really go and understand that word, because the concept of success has been is it's looking like a myth, and we need to demystify that myth, because success is not a destination. It's not where you're going to. It's not the graduation that's a success. No, it is the things you do every day. Like James Clear talked about in Atomic Habits, it is 1% contribution daily compounds to, did he say 38.1% annually? I can't remember that number, but what he's trying to tell you is that it is from your daily action. It is from the things you do daily. It's from everything you do daily. You start early and consistently follow it. Now, the problem with us is that we want to be occasionally extraordinary rather than being consistently reliable. So many of us want to be occasionally extraordinary. Oh, you just want to just do one extraordinary thing. No, that's not what success is about. Success is not about when you see Ronaldo score a hat trick. That is not when he is successful. It is the journey that leads to that thing that makes him successful. And that is why you need to have a hero's mindset to be able to understand what success is about, right? So you need to have the hero's um, mindset. So it is small, daily, seemingly insignificant improvement when done consistently over time that guarantees you to become a success. Small, daily, seemingly insignificant improvement, just little things you do. So goal setting is necessary because it gives us a benchmark to be able to measure success. Now, let's go. So, who should attend this webinar? So, are you running a business or planning to start one? So, what are your sales, publicity, financial, and service goals for this year? What are the things you want to write? So, what goals do you want to set for your business? We're working with people who want to. We're looking at people who want to set goals for their business. So, are you setting business goals in your sales? Are you setting business in publicity? Are you setting business in your financials? Are you setting customer experience goals? What are the goals you want to set? So, do you want to set clear goals and achieve them within deadlines? You are supposed to be in this meeting. So, are you ready to upscale your business with measurable success? You want to move from what you're doing. You're tired of the 6 digits you're doing. You're tired of the 500K mark, sales mark monthly. You want to move your business to 1 million. You want to move it to the next. Write it down. Write those goals down. Do you want to move beyond audio success and truly walk the talk in your business? Some of us have this. We we fake what we can really be. What can really be true? What can just so easily be true? We want to fake it. You come into this, everything you're talking about is audio. It's audio. It's audio. The custom audio. Business is audio. It looks healthy from the outside, but in reality, it's not. So, are you aiming for domain dominance and relevance in your market? What is your sector? What's your sector? All right. So, let me just so that I just know those I'm speaking to. Just tell me what sector of business are you into IT? Are you into sales? Are you into FCMG? um what brings you here? Just let me know what brings you here. Are you here for personal development? Are you a contractor? Just help us type it in the chat box. Let's know what kind of business you're into, or you want to start. Are you a fashion designer? you know are you a graphic artist? Are you a business analyst? Are you a project manager? So what exactly? Just tell us. Let me know. Put it in the chat box very quickly. Put it in the chat box. Let me know. Okay. Okay, Precious, you're a sales and personal development. Oh, that's awesome. Welcome. Precious, it's a sales and personal development. She wants to build sales and personal development. That's where you want to develop. Okay, Jane is saying she wants to start up a business. All right, Jane, you are not specific. So we're in class. You have to tell us what kind of business. You see, I said a goal. You must be clear about it. Let us know what's in specific terms. I want to start up a business. What business? What kind of business? Is it a consulting business? Is it a service business? Is it an IT business? If it's an IT business, are you into aggregator? Are you into, what kind of business are you starting up? All right. So, are you aiming for domain dominance and relevance in your market, growing both market and wallet share? Yes. Okay. Richard says he's an entrepreneur I'm financial market trader. Awesome, 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 Richard. Awesome, awesome. Kenneth is saying he wants to start a snail farm. I love this. This is straight to the point. I want to start a sales snail farm. That's good. That's good. That's exactly what we want to see. All right. So would you like to learn my habit installation protocol to replace your old habits with superior ones and align them with your 2025 goals? All right, let's make 2025 the year where you soar to the top. So who is ready? Who is ready? Who is excited to move on? Victoria says she wants to scale in her personal brand as a master of ceremony and voiceover artist. This is awesome. I love this. She wants to upscale in her personal brand as a master of ceremony, an MC, and a voiceover artist. Okay, so that's a good goal. That's a good one. That's a good business. So we need to know what do the masters, what does the community of MCs, are you part of that community of MCs? Do you have the sufficient connections? How much is your what is your network? Because your network determines your net worth. You know, what kind of people should you be moving around with? So if you're an MC and a voiceover artist, you have no business moving around with somebody who is selling in the market, you know. So we need to begin to Miracle is talking about fashion designing. Okay, that's fine. All right. So how many of us are ready to make this year, the next year, the year where we'll soar to the top? All right, let's start. Bridget says, I'm ready to move to the next level with a crèche and a nursery school. Awesome stuff. Awesome. Yeah. She's ready to move to the next level with a crèche and a nursery school. That's good. I want to close the year with two with 200 million. 200 million. Is it in your account, Harold? Okay, that's awesome. That's his financial goal to close the year with 200 million. Maybe this is sales revenue, or is it as revenue in the account? Or yeah, this is awesome. I love this. It shows that we are really following. All right, so let's start. So there's what I call the habit installation protocol. Now, follow me closely. You get to discover that when you set goals or you set plans, sometimes because of our habit, our personal habits, it could be the habit of procrastination, it could be habit of laziness, it could be the habit of lack of critical thinking, it could be a habit of hasty decisions. Some of us are very hasty in our decisions. So whatever it is that are the habits, you need to begin to write down those bad habits right now. Those things. There are some things that are habits, they are habitual. Maybe you're somebody who doesn't take things too seriously. Maybe you're somebody doesn't um who doesn't read between the lines. There are people like that, you know, we're just you're just a little careless. It's not as if you're not good, you're good, you're intelligent, you're smart, but it's just that there are some, it could be procrastination, it could be laziness, it could be it could be it could be poor networking. You don't know how to network. So you get into a room full of people, and rather than for you to, oh, hi, my name is God's will. What do you do? You don't know how to network. You don't know how to network. That could be it's a bad habit. It could be communication. You're poor at communicating. You don't know how to express yourself. And by the way, um, the second most important way to sell your value is to communicate. There are four levels of value, and communication is the second level of value. And if you don't know how to communicate, you may have the best ideas inside of you, but you may not even know how to bring it out. It's also a bad habit. For some of us too, it could be that you've been in the professional sphere for a long time, but you've not been able to, okay, somebody wrote easily discouraged. It's a bad habit. No, yeah, it is. Some of us are not resilient. Some of us are not patient. Some of us do not know how to delay gratification. There are plenty bad habits, and I'm talking about things that are they may not seemingly look bad on the outside, but because it is the little drops that make a mighty ocean. Maybe you do things without faith. You do things with so much fear. You exercise so much fear every time. It could be a bad habit. You're not a goal getter. You're not somebody who is internally motivated. It could be a bad habit. I love that. We are beginning to write them out now. So I want you to write them on the left side of your page. Just the bad habits, the things that you need to do, those things that have become like a repeat habit. For some of us, it's even too much watching of movies. It's a bad habit. I'm not even talking about the kind of movies we watch now because, of course, it is the information you bring into you're allowed to breed in your heart that determines what you produce as a person. So there's a habit that you need to change. So what are those things? Fear. I am a victim. I love that. You need to take a leap from victim to hero. You need to take that movement. I love that. Yeah. Some people is victim. They always see themselves as victim. They tell themselves, "Oh, nobody helped me." It's a bad habit. You need to stop it. Some of us is negative confession. Some of us is bad talk. Some of us is bad blood. Some of us is envy. Some of us is malice. Some of us is those things that you think they are the things that are your detractors. They are stopping you from meeting your goals. They're stopping you from reaching your best self, from living your highest life. They are bad habits. And if we don't uninstall these bad habits and reinstall a superior habit that will help you to meet your goals, then we are not ready. I don't want us to go into smart because if we talk about goal setting, everybody knows what goal setting is. But you see, there are some little things that we need to fix and to nip in the bud. And one of them is our habits. Do you know that some of us, it is even inferiority complex? Oh, I came from a background that is not too solid. Oh, maybe I went to a polytechnic and it puts a mark on me. Oh, maybe I don't have a master's degree. I don't have a degree from an Ivy college, and automatically you look at yourself and you feel you're not worth it. Yeah. Some of us can come from backgrounds that are not too wonderful. And it kind of it puts a wedge on us and to what we can do. And so today we need to uninstall those negative habits. So you know them, you know yourself. Somebody said poor planning, a little touch of laziness. Yeah, maybe just a little laid back. Yeah, we need to beat them. All right, so let's move on. So a research was conducted by the University College of London, and it showed that it takes approximately 68 days of practicing a new routine to reach the point of automaticity. Now, the point of automaticity is the point where a habit becomes automatic. That's how people who smoke got into this smoking and it became like an addiction for them. The same study says that if you it takes 66 days, approximately 66 days of doing something repeatedly. 66 days of doing it repeatedly because repetition is the mother of integration. Yeah, repetition is the mother of integration. That's what Robin Sharma said. So it takes 66 days for you to be able to repeatedly do something and make it automatic. It gets into that your subconscious mind and you begin to live it. And so, for you to meet your goals, for you to hit your goals in 2025, you need to talk about what are the things that need to become automatic. For instance, so you say, I procrastinate. The word now will be that no, I am proactive. So, for each of those things that you've written down, all those your weaknesses, write the opposite of them. What do you need to do to overcome procrastination? Of course, proactivity. What do you need to overcome laziness? Diligence, right? What do you need to overcome discouragement. What do you need to overcome discouragement? What do you need to overcome discouragement? You need to learn to encourage yourself. You need to learn words of affirmation. You need to learn to surround yourself, your force sphere. That's your mindset, your soul set, your body set, you know, your body set, everything about you, your intellect. You have to surround yourself with positivity for you to be able to overcome discouragement. For you to be able to network, it starts simple. Wear a smile and go out and greet the next person with an open heart. Good afternoon, how are you? Fine. If it's inferiority complex, you have to begin to, you are focusing so much on the things that are not working for you. Or maybe you have a brown tooth, or you have a lump somewhere in your head, or you have a physical deformity, and all your focus is shifted to that deformity, and it makes you to begin to look at yourself as being inferior. And that's what you need to stop doing. You need to stop doing that to yourself. All right. So you need to focus on what is working. Of course, God cannot make 100% of the things in your life not work. So write out the things in your life that are working and begin to do them. All right. So the first 22 days in the 66 days process is called destruction. That's the hardest part of it. That is the most difficult part of the habit installation protocol. Because in that first 22 days, the more you keep repeating, for instance, somebody who has said, I want to read 2 hours every day, you get to discover that it is most difficult in the first 22 days. You see distractions here and there. It's very difficult. Now, am I saying you do it every day? You skip one day, you skip 2 days, but you come back, you skip one day. The next 22 days, we call them the messy days. That's the installation. After the first day, the 22 days, we go to the next phase, which is the installation. In this stage, it is very messy. This is where the discouragement is always hard. This is where it becomes so difficult. You want to hit yourself. I want to build muscles. I want to build six packs. It is most difficult here. But you have to visualize the end from the beginning. You have to keep going. You have to self motivate. You have to push yourself. And the last 22 days is the integration. This is where the new habits would have replaced the old habits. And there's what we call the habit loops. The habit loops are, if you read Atomic Habits, it talks about the loops, the things that brings you back to that same bad habit. So we have to destroy those loops, those points in those habits that have formed bases in our hearts, so that we can begin to install the new habit. So for you today listening to me, what are the habits that you need to destroy? And what are the habits that you need to install and you have to integrate? Come on, begin to write them. Write them on the other side of the page. Write them down. Now, those things you need to, okay, I want to move from laziness to productivity. I want to move from this to this. Now, begin to write them down. Begin to write them down. All right. So let's move on. Let's move on. All right. So now that we are clear that we now have the right mental picture, we now have the right mindset as regarding goal setting. Now that we are clear that we are ready, we need to go into the principles for success in goal setting. So the first principle for success here is clarity and precision. Clarity and precision. So like I said, in this case, you have to be specific. You have to have detailed goals. Your goals must be specific. They must be clear. They must be it must be precise. The second one is what we've talked about, the belief and the mindset. So it is your confidence that fuels success. Oh. And let me tell you, it is your confidence that is a capital for you to go through the goal setting process. Your confidence is really key. And how do we build confidence? Confidence is built by concentrating our energies on what works for you. And that is just the only way to build confidence. Look at yourself and tell yourself, I am beautiful, I am wonderfully made. You know the things that are okay. You know that, oh, my parents love me, even if the whole world doesn't love me. My parents love me. I love myself. God loves me, which is even the most important part. You have to grow confidence. Number 3 principle is write out down. Write it down, and you must write it in the present tense. The problem about us writing our goals down is we don't write them in the present tense. There is something about doing something in the present tense. It creates a sense of urgency. It creates a sense of responsibility and a sense of ownership. And so when you're writing your goals down, you will say, I am going to buy a car. Not I want a car. I am going to build a house. I am. I am. There was a big story that of Moses that was told in the good book. There's a big story of Moses. God introduced himself as the I am. So if God, who is the owner of the universe, can introduce himself as the I am, he has something to do when you tell yourself that you are. Because your mind does not know. Your mind does not know the difference between fake and real. And so when you voice it out and tell yourself and write it out and you speak it in the present tense, I am rich, I am healthy, I am this, I am that, it begins to work on your subconscious. You need to access your starting point. Right now, where is my business standing? The problem with a lot of us is that we are not truthful with ourselves. We are not truthful. We don't tell ourselves the truth about where we are. So where is my business standing? Where am I? Where am I at the moment? Number 5 is to discover your why, because it is the purpose that drives motivation. So why? I'm asking you, you want to buy a car. What is the purpose for buying a car? Is it to oppress your neighbors? What is the purpose for getting the house? Whatever the purpose is, it is the purpose that drives the motivation. I don't care what the purpose is, but you need to be very clear about the purpose, because your why is very important. Then set deadlines. You must set deadlines. You must turn the dreams into actionable goals. So it's okay to dream about a car. Oh, Mercedes C-Class 2018 model. It's fantastic. I love the car. So I have it. Yeah, I have it. But if I can't turn that dream into actionable goals, then it's just a mere wish. So actionable goals. I'm going to give you a template. I sent a template to us. I don't know if you have not downloaded the workbook. I want you to go ahead and download it, because we'll go into those workbook and we'll do it together. So you must be able to turn your dreams into actionable goals. Then visualization. 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 Visualization is very key. Arnold Schwarzenegger wrote a book. He wrote a book on visualization. And in that book, he was talking about how he was able to see himself as a professional bodybuilder, as a world champion bodybuilder, as Mr. Olympia, as he saw himself on the posters of big movies and in big screens. He also was able to see himself also controlling, speaking to large crowd as a political leader. And when he was asked, he said, every time he was able to see himself in those things, he discovered that he began to walk towards those things. And so, what do you see when you look at yourself? Do you see failure or do you see success? I'm speaking to you right now. What do you see when you look at yourself? What do you see when you think about your dreams, your goals, your plans? Do you see failure? So many of us have trained our eyes, our lens to see the negative, to see failure in everything we do. We have trained ourselves to see failure. You must visualize success. You must see it as successful. And I'm not trying to say that because you see it as successful, you will fail. No, it is that thing that you see that will give you the fuel to push yourself back again. You must see it as successful. You must see yourself as successful. You must stay focused and you must be motivated, telling yourself that your time will come. In fact, I have a rule for failure. I call it the 1 to 10 rule for failure. So I say, I will count failure when I go from 1 to, if I fail 10 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I'll tally it as 1. Remember Thomas Edison with the light bulb experiment? History has it that he did hundreds and hundreds of experiments. Imagine if he had given up after the first or second time. Guys, I'm not telling you now that it's going to be an easy year. No, you can't pray for an easy year. You will never even have an easy year. I'm telling you the fact. It's going to be a tougher year next year. But it is your ability to write your goals down, your ability to stay on track, and your ability to see beyond the toughness of that year that will guarantee if you are going to be having a good year or not. So you must visualize success. Don't allow yourself. So you must be clear. You must have the mindset that you will achieve it. There is nowhere that it is written that you cannot achieve your goals. You can achieve it. Write it down. Access your starting point. Don't be afraid of your starting point. Don't be ashamed of where you're starting from. If you don't have a degree right now, that's fine. If it didn't work out the way it's supposed to, it's okay. Be ready to start again. Discover your purpose for life. Set deadlines. Don't just live careless. Set goals. Oh, I am going to write my ICANN within 2 years, within 1 year. I am going to get my certification in business analysis, my certification in project management. Visualize it. Visualize it. Put a visual to it. And you can even go the extra mile by looking for that thing that is your goal. For instance, if it's an ICANN exam you want to write, get the ICANN sticker and put it on your wall or put it on your table or do something that makes you see your goals. You must see it. And when you see it, even if when you look at those things, you feel it's a mountain you can't climb, have the mindset of seeing success in every failure. All right, let's move on. So to make meaningful and effective goal, we must use the SMART criteria. So specific, what do you want to achieve? I'm asking you, what is it that you want to achieve? Measurable, how will you know you have met your goal? What is the measurement indices to show that you have met your goal? So for me, to be that by the end of the year, I have my ICANN. By the end of the year, I have my school start. By the end of the year, I have written my JAM. By the end of the year, I have started my snail farm. By the end of the year, by the end of 6 months, by the end of 9 months, by the end of 3 months, how will I know that I've met my goal? Attainable, is it possible to meet this goal with effort by my timeline? Then is this goal relevant? Is it realistic? Is the goal worth working hard to accomplish? Then timely, what is the deadline for the accomplishment of this goal? So let's just look at the roadmap to achieving your goals. Let's just look for the roadmap from the start. So, like I said, remember, I told us that it is a journey, it's not a destination. It's a journey. The roadmap to achieving your goals is a journey, and you must treat it as a journey. Your goals is your North Pole. We see sailors whenever they open a North Pole and it gives them a guidance, like it tells them what exactly they should be focused on. This year, I want you to write your goals early enough. A lot of us here pray so much about our goals. And how comes after all the prayers you pray, after binding all the Satan you bind, people who follow these simple principles, they seem to smash their goals than people who even pray the most. This is funny anyway. Somebody was giving an analogy of Nigeria and China and says we have more churches in Nigeria, even though our mosques in Nigeria. Although that's a useless assumption anyway. But let's just say it in the context of what we're discussing. How comes people in China don't, bow their heads and kneel and shout and call on God and cry and shout and wail? They don't do any of these things. Rather, they commit themselves to the principles because it is principles that will make the difference. Principles make the difference. So, how comes these guys are able to achieve these things and we are not? Because there's a roadmap. Number one, you must recognize your dream. Now, I want everybody, one of us, to tell me, write in on the paper you have, on your book, what is the vision for your life? What is your ideal future? Just take a moment and just think about yourself because maybe the job you are doing is not where you are supposed to be. When you think about your life, what is your dream? What are your dreams? What is your plan for the future? What's the ideal future you want to feature in? I want to work in an oil company. I want to earn 7 digits. I want to earn salary. I want to do this. I want to do that. So, what are your dreams? Write down your dreams. Write them down. Write them down. Write them down. So, I want you to just do that very quickly. Just write it down somewhere. What is your dream? So, my dream is to be a consultant medical doctor. My dream is to be a professional pharmacist. My dream is to be a professional fashion designer in the Vicky James realm. Write out your dream. And if you know somebody who is doing something close or something similar or something in line with what you want to do, you can just put a name behind it and say, oh, I want to be like Two-Face. Like I want to sing and get as high as Two-Face, because it's necessary for you to be able to recognize what your dreams are, what your visions are. Number two, you need to observe your starting place. So where are you starting? Where's your current position? Where are you right now? Then articulate a purpose statement. Anchor your goals in values. The difference between so many people is that they can do anything to achieve their goals. You must, what kind of values do you have for yourself? Are you somebody who can do anything to get anything? Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. We have a lot of people who can give anything to get anything. Is that the kind of person you are? So you must anchor your goals in value. Then your goals must be defined, they must be clear, and they must be things that can be done. Don't come and write and talk about error. Write something that is abstract. No, no. This is the real life now. This is the life. We're in the life environment. We're not in those days when we were growing up in secondary school, where it was a prototype world. Now we're in the real environment. So don't live like you're living in. Some of us carried our primary school and secondary school mentality, and we are facing life with it, and that's why we're having a lot of struggles. Those days as children, we could dream. We could dream and just dream and go back to sleep. But these days, when you dream, you put in the work to make your dreams come true. Nobody will chase your dreams for you. So you need to begin to feel like you're in the real environment right now. Don't deceive yourself. This is the life environment, okay? Then move into action. Take consistent steps forward. So many of us are very good at planning. I love planning, it's amazing. But what's a plan without an action plan? What is a plan without action? It's a mere wish. Some of us, if I come to you now, you have fantastic business ideas. In fact, you've even written down the business ideas, the supporting documents. But you see, the person who did not even take his time to do all these heavy academic work and effort. Just woke up, carry the money, paid distributor, they open shop, started little by little. Because I told you that clarity is revealed in momentum. As much as we are talking about writing goals, you must start doing something. Start. You want to do a business of 1 million naira, you have 100,000 naira right now. If you can start with 100,000, start. Don't wait until you get a 1 million naira, because it is being said that clarity is revealed in momentum. The more you move, things move. It is when you
Okay, sorry about that. I think our speaker is out. Perhaps the network have thrown him out. So we just give him some time to join back. I hope he's aware that has been thrown out. Let me just send him a message. But please, if you can hear me and you can see me, please let me know in the comment section. Can you hear? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Let me also know if I'm still live. Please let me know. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Anybody home? Okay. Okay, welcome back.
okay, sorry, I don't know. It's like my network threw me off.
Okay, I guess so.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay. So take action and start. I apologize for the network challenge I had. We are still in Nigeria. Sorry, everyone. So sorry. All right. The next thing is adjust your plans and stay flexible. And don't forget to point to success and celebrate milestones. So many of us don't like to celebrate ourselves. You need to celebrate yourself. Once you hit a milestone, celebrate it. Once you make a one day, oh, I'm not going to drink Coke for today, and I don't drink Coke today, celebrate yourself. That's how it happens. Let it be. Celebrate every milestone you have. All right, moving on. So, what are the tips for setting goals? So, you have to evaluate and reflect. So, it has to do with a lot of awareness. We have to do with a lot of awareness. We must become aware. Better awareness helps us with better choices that gives us better results. So we need to grow. From growing or becoming aware or learning, we go to implementation, then before we go to the impact. So we need to be aware. So it is better awareness that helps us to make better choices and can guarantee us better results. So we have to move from growing to implementation before we can see the outcome or the impact. Your goals must align with your aspiration. Your goals must align with your aspiration. Of course, we said when you write your goals down, it becomes real to you. And when we take action, so I say you will achieve more by being consistently reliable than by being occasionally extraordinary. Let me say it again. So you will achieve more by being consistently reliable than by being occasionally extraordinary. A lot of us want to be occasionally extraordinary, but can you be consistent? So you who is asking that you want to scale your business, you want to move your business from point A to point B, deliver. I want to buy something, and you say you're going to deliver in 24 hours. Will you deliver? Will you deliver on what you said you would do? You're a tailor. You know, you know in your heart that you cannot deliver this clothes in 1 week. But you're saying you will deliver it in 3 days. Consistently reliable. It's better than being occasionally extraordinary. So maybe what you may need to add to one of your business goals this year is that what we say we will do is what we will do. What you say you will do is what you will do. Be consistently reliable rather than being awesome sometimes. No, as a husband, be as a wife, be consistently reliable. Let your yes be yes, let your no be no. When it's time to wake up at 5 a.m., wake up 5 a.m. Consistency is the rule of this game. Be consistently reliable. Every one of us will love the feeling of fame and fortune and how to be the celebrity of the world we know. But are we consistently delivering on the goods? Very important. Very important. All right. So, what are the steps? First, that goal that you have. Let's start with Kenneth, who said he wants to open a snail farm. That's a big goal. That's the vision. The vision is to have a snail farm. So, what's the first question we ask ourselves? What are the minimum requirements? Let's gather requirements now for a snail farm. Number one, we need to have stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders in the snake farm? Kenneth will be a stakeholder. Where he will buy the snails from. Maybe another farm who is doing it will be a stakeholders. If there will be veterinary assistant or a vet doctor, he's a major stakeholders. If there is the people who supply the feeding for these snails or whatever they will eat, they contribute to the stakeholders. The next thing we'll talk about is land or the space where he needs to do it. We'll talk about, so you see that when you begin to itemize what are the things that we need to do, you may discover that money may come last. So you need to write it out like this, then share it and make it into actionable points. So the point now is starting a snail farm. I will look for a shop, or I've gotten a shop. And when am I supposed to look for a shop? In 1 week, in 2 days, in 3 days. You put them on a document. I will do this. So we have to break it down. Large goals, break it into smaller tasks. The tasks, break them into strategies. The strategies, break them into tactics. Let it be as simple as possible. You should be able to look at your goal and know what is the next line of action. You're starting a shop. You break down the whole process. Do it like a process flow. You know how we have this for those of us who are into business analysis. We have what we call the business flow diagrams, where it shows you the different processes that you have to go from this to this, from this to this, from this to this. Break it down. Break it down into those things. Then prioritize and act. So you have to focus on what matters most. It's not every part of the process in this snail farming. I'm just using it as an example, or fashion design, that is very important. So you have to prioritize and act. Okay, for instance, there are different levels of fashion designing. I think we have fashion for males, fashion for kids, fashion for women. In fact, in fashion for males, there are still fashion designers that target fashion for the aged, fashion for young males, fashion for, so you need to find out your niche, find out which one is your own, prioritize on it and focus on what matters most for you. Then monitor and adjust as needed. You have to keep monitoring. Hey, my guys, for every goal you must write, you must monitor it daily for that goal to work. For every goal you must write down. You must monitor it daily. Now, what is the rule of thumb? The rule of thumb says start early, monitor daily. Start early, Monitor daily. So you must monitor it every day. Start doing it early and monitor it daily. And of course, reward yourself. Celebrate wins. Oh, we want to celebrate our 1,000 followers on Facebook. It's an achievement. Celebrate it. We want to celebrate our 10,000 followers on Instagram. Celebrate it. Capture it. Document it. Document it. It's part of your story. It's part of your journey. There are a lot of us who just arrive at success without having a story. Those kind of success may not last. And that is why it's always good for us to celebrate and document. I'm not saying throw money away. Understand the concept of celebration. Celebration is telling yourself well done for a job well done. It is a way of reinforcing your focus, reinforcing commitment, reinforcing motivation. It's a way of triggering you to even do better. All right. So I want you to open your workbook right now. I think I have one here. I want you to open your workbook. I want you to open your workbook. Collins, I don't know if you can help me project the workbook. Help me project the workbook. I think I dropped a copy here.
Um, okay,
Yes.
you tried adding it. You couldn't. So,
Uh, like you need to remove this one from the stage first.
okay.
Then help us project the workbook. So if you're there and
Okay.
so while we're at that,
Okay.
do you want me to add it again?
Yes. Can you add it again? I'm trying to do so, but
Oh,
okay,
okay.
beautiful.
All right. That's
Yeah.
fine. Okay, so how many of us can see the workbook? So I'd like us to just go through it together. So this is a goal setting and action planning template. You can actually print this out or you can have it electronically on your phone because it just helps you to be able to set out your goals and your action planning. Like I told you, the problem we have is not with goal setting. Our problem is with action planning. So we need to have something like a document where we can look back. So they are powerful tools. It can help you evaluate the benefit and drawback. It can help you craft a personalized goal, validate your goal, boost motivation, and achieve meaningful progress. So just before we start now, we are starting from step one. So just join me. In the next 5-10 minutes, we'll be done with this exercise, and you can do it on your own. And you can actually send feedbacks to Collins. We can do some in class here. So let me just see some of them. So a quick overview. A quick overview is first a vision statement. So tell me, where do you want your business to be in 2025? Now I'll give you an example. For instance, look at this one. To become a leading provider of eco-friendly products in the local market. That is this person's vision statement. Eco-friendly product. Maybe this person sells inverters or sells solar panels. So he wants to be the leading provider of eco-friendly products in the local market. So look at this example and craft out your own mission statement in line with your business for 2025. Just do that. The second one is your current assessment. Where are you now? Let's know what your revenue is. What is your team size? What is your market presence? What's your revenue? Okay, presently I make between 400,000 and 500,000 in sales revenue, not profits now. Presently, I make 10% of that amount as my profit. So if I can sell 500,000 in my shop, my profit at the end of the month is 50,000. That's where I am. That's a current assessment. That's a valid current assessment. Oh, presently I have one staff Presently, I have 2 staff. Presently, I have 3 staff. Presently, I'm running a business that has a value chain where we now have distributors, retailers, suppliers, and the rest of them. So where are you now? Presently, we are only in Abuja at the moment. Presently, we are both in Abuja and in Kaduna. Presently, I have presence in Port Harcourt and Lagos at the moment. So what is your current assessment of yourself? The third one is for goals now. Do you have short-term goals? In my own definition, I put short-term as quarterly goals, like for the first quarter, for for 1 to 3 months. Like for instance, the goal is to increase monthly sales by 20%. My goal is to onboard 2 new clients. My goal is to have 10 new clients. My goal is to reach out to 100 people. Short-term goals. Then medium-term goals. What are the medium-term goals? Because you can have both short-term, medium-term, and long-term for the same goal or for the same vision. Between the first 6 to 12 months, I'm going to launch a new product line. Okay, presently I am only in Abuja. Between the next 6 to 12 months, I want to have a business in neighboring Nasarawa or Jos or Kaduna or Kogi or Niger. That's a goal. That's a goal. Then maybe long-term goal, we'll talk about 2 to 3 years. Okay, we want to triple our annual revenue. We want to double our annual revenue. We want to open 2 new locations. That could be a long-term goal. All right, so the fourth thing is the key actions. So this one talks about what steps are needed to achieve your goal. For instance, you see what I talk about the steps now. Run a social media campaign. We're going to do social media campaign. We're going to advertise on Facebook. We're going to advertise on Instagram. We're going to advertise on WhatsApp. We're going to hire a marketing specialist, a digital marketing specialist to help us to move our, okay, we have a market, we sell our products are digital products. For instance, Zahava Consults, we do a lot of digital marketing. We do what they call information marketing, and most of our information marketing are digital. We're going to be having master classes. We'll tell you, we'll give you more details about that at the end of this class, where you can actually take a course with us to maybe improve your business, take a course with us to improve your selling, take a course with us to improve your customer interaction, your customer experience. You can take a course, to talk about your financials, your risk management, so whatever it is, hire a marketing specialist. Then deadlines, assign specific dates to each goal. For instance, we are going to launch on March 30th, 2025. We are going to launch on March 30th, 2025. Then we talk about resources needed. We'll list tools, finances, or people required. For instance, 100,000 for advertising, software tools for productivity. I'm just giving you an idea of how to write your goals. Then we'll talk about tracking and review. So how will you measure progress? Well, we're going to have weekly sales reports. We're going to have customer feedback and surveys. We're going to have a Google form that we give to every customer that walks into our for every customer that buys from us. We'll send you okay, how do you rate us? Kindly rate us. We're going to ensure that every week we have sales performance reports every week. Those are tracking and reviews. Then reflection. So you look at what is working, what needs adjustment, what needs to be removed. Sometimes a project, a goal may not be working. You just look at a goal and say, Kai, this goal is going nowhere. So when you reflect, you are able to tell yourself that, okay, this thing will not work, this thing will work. So these are the points. You write out your answers here. So for vision, tell us what you want your business to be. For current assessment, for goals, for terms, for key actions, what do you need to achieve your goals? Deadlines for each of those goals. If you have different goals, you set up specific dates to each goals, the resources needed, and the rest of them. Now, let us go into each of your goals now. Let us talk about how to build your SMART goal. What is your starting goal? For instance, my starting goal is to be the biggest suppliers of inverters in Kaduna, Nigeria. That's my starting goals. So that's the goal I said was to be the biggest provider of eco-friendly product in my locality. That was my vision. Then, to be specific about the goal, I will say I want to be the biggest installer of solar panels in Kaduna. That's my goal. That's my goal. Now, let's keep going. Measurable. So you add numbers so that you can check to what extent you've achieved your goals. So I'll say presently, in November 2024, we installed 24 solar panels. In December 2024, we were able to install 35 solar panels, and we are hoping that by the first quarter of 2025, we should have installed 150 solar panels. That is how the goal is. So you'll be able to measure. You should be able to do a measurable, like be able to measure, put a number so that you can know what you have achieved and what you can achieve. Then achievable. Are you going to be able to do this? If not, you can go back and look at it. Can I do this thing I said I would do? I want to be able to do cumulatively from January to March, install 150 solar panels. Can I do this thing? Is it possible? Is there a market for solar panels? Are there competitors who are also doing the same, offering the same value proposition that I'm offering? What is going to be my unique selling point? What is going to be that unique thing about me that makes? Is it price? Is it price? Am I targeting my markets for, okay, for price? What am I going to do? Am I price driven? Am I value driven? Am I status driven? What is it am I going to do? What's going to be my marketing strategy? What's going to be my campaign? So you have to look at those things. Those are the things that will help you to know if this goal is achievable or not. Then relevance. Does this matter? Does it feel important and relevant to me right now? If not, you can adjust it. This goal I'm about to set, is it relevant to me? Does it feel important to me right now? Then when is it going to happen? That is, if this is still achievable, what time? Is it first quarter? Is it second quarter? What are the deadlines I have done? Now, the third step of doing this goal setting process, of course, is to think your goal all through. So now that you have defined, once you do this, you'll discover that you have written a SMART goal. So we are thinking about the goal. So with your SMART, it's time to think about the whole process again. So check the outcome of your goal before you put time and effort into achieving it, because this approach draws on a theory of how to create well-informed outcomes. So this one now, we are going to ask more questions now. So we are going to do this with a series of prompt questions. Imagining that you have achieved your goal. After thinking for a moment about each question, write your thoughts in the box by the side. So imagine that you have achieved your goal. What did you notice that is different? Really imagine that you are there. What do you see? What do you feel? What do you taste? What do you smell? How do you feel now that you've gotten your 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 poultry farm? Just, you are imagining it now. It has not yet come to fruition, but you are putting yourself in, you are doing a mental picture, you are doing a visualization process of that whole thing. Having achieved your goal, how do you feel? Having achieved your goal, what do you think about your achievement? What have you done to achieve this? What specifically? So it goes down to how it's even going to, how are your loved ones going to benefit from this thing? What resources do you need to achieve this? Time, money, information, equipment. You need to think it through. Did you achieve this by yourself? Were there other stakeholders or co-partners that were necessary? What might you have to give up to lose or achieve it? How might it impact your daily routine? I want us to go quickly. Then finally, once you've done this, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you really want to make this goal a reality? Once you've asked yourself these honest questions, ask yourself, how much do you want to make this goal a reality? Now, if your answer is a 10, then of course it's time for you to build action and go ahead. If it's anything from 6 to 9, what would you need to do differently to make it a 10? And these are sincere questions you need to ask yourself. Is that something within your control? There are some things that are outside your locus of control. Is this something like, okay, let's say there's a lot of risk involved with this, maybe risk of theft, risk of fire. What can I do? Can I mitigate this to mitigate this risk? Insurance, what can I do? So, trying to make an adjustment of your goal, or alternatively, just extra steps on your plan. If it's not something you can control, ask yourself if it will affect any goal you came up with right now. If yes, it may be an immovable external factor that you may need to accept for now. And if it will affect a different goal, you should try generating a different goal without that factor. Which are you more motivated to achieve? If a 10 isn't possible, but the score is still high, well, it means that it is also time again to build an action plan. But then, if you have a score from 5 and below, if you have a score from 5 and below, it sounds that you may not want this. Think about it. What could you change about this goal to make it more appealing? And if not, forget about that goal. So this is like an assessment to looking at your goal to see that, okay, this goal will work, this goal will not work. Now, this is the part of the goal setting masterclass that makes a lot of sense. And this is the part where we talk about the action plan. Here in the action plan, you write out your goal. You write out the goal first. Then what I am going to do. When I'm going to do it, then tick it when it is done. For instance, let us take an example of somebody who wants to start a fashion designing outfit. So I am going to get a shop. Where am I going to get a shop? You start asking yourself, am I getting a shop in an urban center? Am I getting a shop in a rural area? Am I getting a shop on a major expressway? Am I getting a shop in a shopping mall? Those are the questions you need to ask yourself. So if you talk about getting a shop, when are you going to do it? What is the time you are going to do it? If you have done it, tick it. I'm going to buy a generator. When are you going to do it? I'm going to do this. I'm going to buy 2 sewing machines. You are going to list out all those things like that. Put when you are going to do it, and do it. So if you now look at this document, at the end of filling this document judiciously, you discover that this document has your vision statement. This document has your goals. This document have your specific goals. So you know that you are starting a fashion designing shop. You don't have any business um talking about, okay, selling drinks and the rest of them, because yes, that might not be the goal. Those things can come as afterthoughts, but we're talking about when you're strategically setting out your goals. So, okay, for instance, I want to build a house this year. That is my goal. So I don't have any business diverting money into buying a car, because if the goal is to build a house, it is always good for you to start small and continue. So we've dropped this document. You can take your time and just go through it and fill it, you know, for your own consumption. So let us end the class. Let's end it right here. Um,
Okay.
Collins, let's go back to that slide, that other slide. So
Okay.
we're wrapping it up right now. So you can do this practical insight, open the workbook, try and document those goals. I've taken you through the step-by-step process. So what are the key takeaways from today's class? Number one, we've understood that goals must be clear, they must be actionable, and they must be time-bound. Number two, we've understood that you must regularly reflect on your goals and make adjustments where necessary. It's necessary to reflect. It's necessary to reflect. Remember what we talked about when the awareness is good. Better awareness will lead to better choices, and better choices will lead to better results. Better awareness will lead to better choices will lead to better results. Number three takeaway from today's class is that success requires a combination of belief, planning, and action. Belief, planning, and action. Belief. Don't stop. These three are a triangle. For them to stand, three of them must be connected. Belief is at the top of it. Planning is at the other side of it. Action is at the forward end of the triangle. So it is a combination of both belief, planning, and action that can guarantee success to your goals. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope we've been able to help you understand how to and help you with goal setting. And I'm ready to see wonderful goals that will be smashed in the first quarter, second quarter, and by the end of 2025, I want to see people who attended this class come up to say, "Oh, Mr. Collins, thank you for that goal setting master class. Because after that master class, I was able to buy my car or I was able to buy my house." Thank you so much for listening, and God bless you.
Thank you so very much. I was just saying on the group just a couple of minutes ago that my notes are filled up. I mean, um, quite a lot of value that have been given here today. Precious is asking if she can get the template. Yes, it's on the group. I'd appreciate again if you didn't get the template. For those of us who are yet on the group or who are wondering what the group is about, is a WhatsApp group where we just gathered all the participants here so that we'll be able to share information and resource material with you. So if you could just send a message on any of our social media platforms, or would add you to the group. We are already far out of time. I mean, we've spent over 90 minutes, on this live session, just teaching and pouring value. Thank you so much, sir. I don't know if we'll be able to take questions. I have a couple of questions here. Maybe we'll just take one or two. While if you have, you could put on the comment section, and I'll just project it up also for our speaker to answer. For me, one of the high points of during the teaching is where you talked about habit installation protocol. Because habit goes a long way to shape almost everything that we do. And it's interesting to note that in 66 days, according to studies that have been shown, you could, learn a new habit. And this new habit is not necessarily have to be positive, though, we are hoping that you learn a positive habit, but it could also be a negative habit too if you don't watch it. I mean, so much value, I got from that. And I'm going to try it out. There are some things I'm struggling with. I'll not lie to you. Even when you talk about reading a book, for example, I remember I set out a goal sometime this year that I was going to read at least a chapter every day. Ask me how many, how I've kept to that, but I mean, is it that, like, for me, that's a habit I really want to form, because it is out of what you have in your wells that you can pour out. So we must continually, fill them up and up. So let me just take one or two questions I have written down here. Like I said, if you have questions, please you can put them in the comment section. They'll be short to answer. We'll be out of here in about 15 minutes. All right. So please just hang on, to the end of this live. Now, so when you were talking about goals, you talked more on specificity, how it should be specific. um, you know, you don't just say, just like somebody say, I want to start a business, you say, okay, what kind of business? What business are you going into? But one of the challenges I've also seen, apart from, being specific and all, is the time frame. So how do people, is there a method, is there a way to work around it? I want to, if, for example, you use the example of getting a car. I want to get a new car and everything. So how do I determine the time frame? Is it based on the income I'm earning or based on the goal I've set that okay, I will also make much more money? We saw somebody who said he wants to make 200 million in 2025. Though we don't know if it's the money is in account or if it's just sales or it wasn't really specific. But how do we go about setting time frame for ourselves? That's number one. Number two is how do we handle ourselves or how do we react when our goals are not met? Because sometimes, in fact, most times it does happen. Yeah. So we set goals. I mean, we are going to step into a new year very, very soon. People are going to make New Year resolutions. That's why we are having classes like this. People are going to set up goals, and maybe you put a time frame 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 1 year. But at the end of the day, those goals are not met for one reason or the other. You give it your best shot. You did everything you were supposed to do, but somehow, those goals were still not met. How do we handle such situation? Then, lastly, because of time, how do we maintain focus and deal with distractions? I know you talked about bad habits, yeah, writing them out and all. But let me give you an example. There's something I call good distraction, even though distractions are not good. Yeah. So, for example, I come on social media and I want to just make a business post, or just do my normal posting and stuff. But you know how you carry your phone and before the next thing 10 minutes has passed, 15 minutes has passed, 30 minutes, 1 hour, and sometimes it could even be family, you're at home and there are things you need to attend to, but at the same time, you've scheduled that, oh, by so time, I want to do this for my business, I want to do this, but, there are just distractions from left, from right, from center. So, how do we maintain focus, in a seemingly busy world, busy life, and deal with distraction? So I've asked three questions. Let's see if we could just answer this one. I still have some more, but I think these three would also help put some clarity to perhaps in the minds of participants here.
Okay, thank you very much, Collins. Okay, so the first question talks about, so how do we set time frames, exactly for financial goals, right? If I got that question right, right?
Yes, 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 please. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So that's fine. When it comes to finance, first you must be aware of all your sources and all your channels for of money. Now, am I saying that um, financial goals should be set on estimates? That's not a very good thing to do. That's not a very good thing to do. So, for instance, that's why we talk about know where your starting point, know where you are. Even if it's a business, even if it's a job, for jobs it's easier because most times our income are normally fixed. So of course you just know it has to do with your ability to discipline yourself. So but for a business it may not really be very fixed. Why? Because sales is a variable. So today I might sell 1,000 pieces of an item. Tomorrow I'll sell only 10. You understand, and all that. But then, since it's a goal, you must use the available information, the available financial information that you have, the available financial information that you have to set those goals. So you don't set a goal on money that is promised. No, you set a goal on your sum assured, like the money that you are sure that you're going to earn. That is it. Just the same way we are being taught also not to spend the monies that have not come to us too. It's the same way about setting goals. So once you want to set a goal, set it on what you can see, because the goal has to be realistic. It has to be realistic. It has to be attainable. It has to be measurable. You understand? If me now, as I am here with my salary of 100K, and I'm setting a goal that I want to save 2 million naira this year, you know that I want to either do juju, or I want to it's either I do juju, or I want to commit fraud, or I want to become a Yahoo boy. You understand? So like, you understand what I'm trying to say. So our goals must be that. Now, there's something that happens in the universe where why it's always good for you to have a goal. Somehow, because of the kind of God we serve, God is a God who rewards, diligence. You discover that somebody who sets that goal, okay, 100,000, I want to save 50,000, might just wake up to God providing a means for him to even have 5 million that month, because there is already a plan. Now, see the difference. So these two people got the same miracle. This one had a goal, this one did not have a goal. The guy who has a goal is most likely to be, he has already built capacity, he has already built the knowledge, he has already built the discipline around keeping money. So the likelihood of him wasting that money is not there, unlike the guy who doesn't have a goal. And that's why it's necessary for us to have like a goal. You get, it's good for us to have a plan, so that at least we'll be able to meet our needs, we'll be able to have money to support our lives and the rest
Yeah.
of them. Now, the next question, I'll go to the third question. I didn't quite get the second one. I'd like you to help me repeat it. But the third one
Okay.
says, how do we maintain focus and kill distraction? So, like I was trying to say that most times our problem is that we only prepare, we don't separate. So there are
Yeah.
two things: there's preparation and separation. They go hand in hand. So for you to be able to prepare for something that you want to achieve, you must be able to separate from the detractors. So first you need to understand what your detractors are: Netflix, social media, data, internet. Sometimes they can be distractors, even though they are enablers. So you see, the same thing that is an enabler can also be a detractor. So it is for your ability to be able to understand which of these things are enablers and which of these things are detractors, and you'll be able to put them in their place. So it's not every time that is for. In fact, I'm also a culprit to that thing. I go on. I want to do a post on Facebook. Before I will finish typing one post, I have spent 2 hours
That's
listening to
great.
what listening to what Very Dark Man said, listening to this person's rebuttal, listening to what
Exactly.
Wike's demolition, watching this video, watching that one. And before you go on, you get to discover that your productivity is maybe just about 5%. So
Yeah.
we need to be able to understand that we must separate from the things that make us not to hit our goals. And we
Yeah.
must create environment around us that enables our goals. You understand? For you who says you want to read one book, one chapter a day. So what does it mean? First, you must define the book you want to read first.
Yeah.
I am going to read George Orwell's Animal Farm. You must have the book life. You must put
Yeah.
the book within your physical, where you can have sight to that book, because there's something that has to do with visualization. You must create time for that thing. There is nobody that can manage time. We just make time for things. We cannot say, oh, if you talk about time management, it's almost a waste. Time
Mm.
waits for nobody. It's a continuum. But it is you that will now structure your program and structure your life around it. And who says it's not possible? It
Yeah.
is. And you must starve your distractions. Those things that easily enslave, those weights. Sometimes these things may not be sinful, they are just weights. There is a weight and there is a sin. So you must
Yeah.
be able to. Sometimes we, especially for we Christians, we try and avoid all the sins, but we don't pay attention to the weights. The weight can be these little distractions. The weight can be that one more hour that you want to sleep instead of waking up by 5. So we must learn to starve the distractions and remove those weights that easily ensnares us. So what's the second question? I didn't quite
Okay.
get
So
that question.
okay. So the second one was on how to handle when our goals are not being met. We've done sometimes we see, in fact, most times, especially in the I mean the country where we live in, I mean, you can set a goal, a business goal, and then the policy comes, or there's hyperinflation. There's a lot of factors, that can influence your goals not being met. So, how do we handle such situations? We've set a 3 months goal, 6 months, 1 year, but at the end of the day, our goals are not being met, you know, or we are not able to
Okay.
meet our goals.
Okay, so number one, you have to first acknowledge your feelings. Yeah, you are a human being, So, well, acknowledge the fact that it's not a good time. Yes. Then you have to also reflect on what happened. So, was it that I didn't give myself a realistic time frame? So, were my expectations too high? What were the external factors that affected me? What were the factors within my control? There are two kinds of factors that can affect us. There are factors outside our locus of control, and there are factors within our locus of control. You have to ask yourself. That's why you have to do a root cause analysis to drill
Mm,
down. They call that process the 5 whys. You keep asking
mm,
why. So the business failed. You say, why did the business fail? You say, okay, the business failed because of the inflation. You say, why did inflation happen? The inflation happened because of, you say, why? Until you ask to the last point where you can no longer ask why, then you at least you'll be able to see, okay, you now say, dimension it. Was this within my control? Was this outside my control? What should I have done differently? You understand? Then the next thing you have to ask yourself, what are the lessons learned? You don't focus on what has been lost. The problem we also do is our culture, our attitude always gives us this feeling of wanting to rehearse the hurt. You see that the person keeps saying it. You say, if nobody say Tinubu become president, I for done. If no, that's a victim mentality. No, you are a hero. You are a hero regardless. So you don't need to focus on what was lost. You have to focus on the lessons learned. Oh, I maybe this time around, this is what I'm going to do differently in this Tinubu environment. And you have to also, in your mind, reframe the situation and be positive about it. And instead of you to see yourself as a victim, you begin to see yourself as a hero. There was something I wrote down in my book, and I think I need to just read it. So victims love entertainment, but heroes love education. Victims, they
mm,
love entertainment. They just want to, we just want to sit down and just enjoy the fact that everything is not going on in the country and it's not going on well. But the hero loves education. He wants to see the lessons learned from it. Then adjust your plan, you know, adjust your plan to it. And do what again? Get back on your feet and fire down. Try again. Who says that it's only one time that they must do something to succeed? After all, there are some businesses that we're hearing that goggles, so many of them operated for years in lost positions. But today they are the blue chip companies of the world. You understand? So as long as you believe in that thing, even if it fails, you must learn also to have the emotional intelligence to deal with disappointment. Disappointment should not make you fail backwards, like John Maxwell will always say. It should make us what? Fail forward. So failure becomes an avenue, an opportunity for us to forward think on why we failed, what are the lessons that we can learn, and what can we do differently. And I believe that one day we'll celebrate those goals, hitting them well. Right.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, what do we say to our speaker this evening? I mean, I'm already reading a lot of, positive feedbacks. Harold the media said, I'm so glad to have made all my children listen and learn with their writing materials. God bless you, sir. Harold also said, thank you so much, Mr. Godswill and Mr. Collins. Kenneth says, wow, I'm glad I made it. Thank you, Zahava Consults. Okay, so that's all we can take for today. I really want to thank our speaker again for taking our time. I mean, I know he puts in a lot of preparation into this. I also speak at events, so I know what it takes. You know, we would say virtue has left him this evening, and we're really glad, to you have given us your time, to be here. Thank you to everyone who has joined. I see a lot of people asking for the recording and all. That's why we are holding it platforms like this. So you can always come back to the channel, to watch it again. And I'll recommend you do so, please. All right. Not just listening to it once, take your time again and listen to it a second time. There are key points you will catch, that you might not have caught now, but that you get it, again when you listen to it again. Yeah, thank you so much. This is organized by Zahava Consults. We are just like the speaker also talked a little about what we do. We're into business consulting, coaching, training. We have different courses, that we have. Some have been released and some are still in the process of being released. That deals with different aspects: customer retention, acquisition, business analysis, product design, development, and a whole lot that we do. You could check us out, on Google, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook. We have our presence there, and you can also reach out to us one on one if you want a one on one consultation. And we'll be here to offer you our services. All right. That's all we can take for today. Once again, I want to thank you. It's been 2 hours by my timing now. This 2 hours, that we've been on this live. So we'll bring the live to an end now. Once again, thank you so very much, everyone. Have a lovely evening ahead of you. Have a lovely day ahead of you. Until next time, again in January, either third or fourth week, we have another speaker. The speaker just confirmed, her availability, for next month's webinar. And I mean, it's going to be another interesting time. Keep tabs and keep a date with us. See you next time. Thank you so much, sir. All right. Bye bye. Bye, everyone.